Hey everyone, Jeff Lee coming to you from IBC 2017 at the Vision Research booth. More probably familiar as everyone as the guys that make the Phantom camera. Spending time with Tony. Tony, we have a brand new VEO, I'm going to say it right, VEO 4K. Right, so what was it, 2 years ago you guys released the VEO, I think, was it 2 years ago? Yeah.
Well, last year.
Okay, so last year.
Yeah, last year, the beginning of the year, we introduced the VEO 640, which is the 2K version of this camera, basically. It's a small 5-inch cube form factor camera, and the VEO 640 does over 2,000 frames a second in HD. And just at IBC here, we're showing for the first time the 4K version of the VEO. So the VEO 4K does 1,000 frames per second at full 4K resolution, just like the Phantom Flex 4K.
Right, because it shares the same technology as the Flex 4K global shutter variant, right, the GS?
Yes. So it's basically the same imaging performance, frame rate, the image quality, everything as the Flex 4K GS, which means that it'll run in both rolling shutter mode and global shutter mode, and both of those modes are good for different things. Rolling shutter, you get the really nice image quality that the Flex 4K is known for. Global shutters, you lose a couple stops of dynamic range, but you need it sometimes for global shutter, and you end up getting more sensitivity and things like that in that mode as well.
Sure. Yeah, and that's unique. It's one of the first cameras that I'm aware of that you can actually choose between the shutter operation mode, which is pretty cool.
I think that's true. And the VEO 4K, we incorporated the same thing. So it's standard in the VEO 4K to be able to do that switching between the global shutter and the rolling shutter.
Now, obviously, the big selling point is the form factor. Flex 4K, beautiful camera, industry workhorse, but it can be physically limiting if you're trying to do different work, cram it in tight spaces, etc. So, that's really the genesis, right, is to build it in a smaller form factor for specialty applications?
That's right, yeah. The VEO camera family is sort of a crossover camera for industrial and scientific use, and then we have the cinema variants with, the additions of like the PL lens mount and low-pass filters and that sort of thing. But they do share a lot of the same features as with our industrial customers, so, we decided to make the the cinema variant basically of the camera, and the VEO 4K is really a great camera for the media market because of the need for lighter weight cameras for specialty rigs and things like that. Yeah,
I can see it certainly going on a gimbal of some sort or other applications. So one of the key differences between the VEO family and the Flex is the type of media it uses, right? So it's not using the Cine Mags, it's using CFast 2.0 cards.
Correct.
So can you explain a little bit how that differs in terms of a workflow for an operator?
Yeah, that's really one of the main differences between the Flex 4K and the VEO. The Flex 4K uses Cine Mags, which are very fast, so it gets the data out of the RAM at 1 gigabyte per second. Basically, it's super fast. The VEO 4K, all the VEO cameras will use CFast media. CFast media is less expensive, of course. It's industry standard. You can get them from anywhere. It also takes the NTFS file format, so you can download the footage without software. There's no specialty software that's required. The trade-off is that it's slower. It's a little bit slower than the CineMag, so there'll be more downtime in between shots. But it's with high-speed cameras, a lot of times you're limited to very small segments anyway, so, you can definitely segment the RAM of the camera and keep shooting that way. Yeah. So
there's no way to do like a playback and record at the same time, right? That's one of the key features of the Flex?
You can, if you have segments in memory, you can actually record while you're playing back some of the other segments. You can do that. The camera does not, the Flex 4K has the 4K video outputs, and also a continuous live feed. The VEO is limited to 1080p outputs, so there are those trade-offs between the two camera models still.
Right, of course, but obviously size makes a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah. With the speed difference of the CFast, the VEO has 10 gigabit Ethernet is an option for the VEO camera series, and that really helps when it comes to the download time. So if you can be tethered to a computer, with a 10 gig solution, that is, it really negates the, issue of the slower record time to the.
And to your point, obviously, slow motion is you're shooting something for 3 seconds. It'll play out for, depending on frame rate, minutes worth of. Yeah. Right. So, may not be as big of an issue, I'm sure.
Right, yeah. It's just you have to, understand the workflow, and 10 gig is a great solution for studio work, and also for, I think this camera is going to be used a lot with motion control arms and robot arms, that sort of thing. And those cameras are tethered, and that's a really fast workflow using the 10 gig. So there are definitely solutions for it.
Now, is there only one variant of the VEO 4K, meaning the 640 style with all the connectors? Because I know in the other family, the industrial-based cameras, you had slightly less options for the industrial usage. But is this just basically the only one?
The VEO 4K has 3 variants, actually, but we have the 4K, it's actually called the 4K-PL, which has the black housing for cinema use. That's one thing that we got feedback on for the other VEOs, is that white cameras don't work so well because you'll see the reflections, all of that stuff. So, we made sure that this camera was available in black. And besides that, it does include everything, all the options that are in the top level VEO model. Yeah.
So it's called the PL. We're looking at a Canon mount. Obviously, that's interchangeable mount, right?
Yeah. The all of our cameras, you can change between PL, Nikon, or Canon. The Canon mount is nice because you have electronic control of the aperture and of focus remotely. So, yeah, it's a nice solution.
Obviously, on top you have the Transvideo, so you still maintain the Transvideo monitor control through the data ports, right?
There's on-camera controls, and you can use any video monitor with it. Yep.
Okay, so there's no camera control coming from the Transvideo.
Not through the Transvideo, no. There's different remote control solutions. There's the PCU, and there's some other third-party remote control solutions that exist. The VEO 4K also has a USB port, which you can connect to a Wi-Fi dongle to, and that's something that, there's things in development that will be used for that eventually. Yeah.
Okay, great. So that's new, actually. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, this is very exciting. Again, it's always good to see more high-speed solutions. High-speed is always one of those things that is just awesome to look at and a ton of fun.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you again so much for joining us. Thank you again for watching. That is us from the Vision Research booth at IBC 2017. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.